Good day. I want to talk about glimpses into the future and also daydreaming and the movies that are playing. So when I was a little girl, I loved to daydream. I loved to use my imagination. And what felt so good.
We want to hear every word you have to say. Make a distinction for us. Daydreaming and using imagination, are they one and the same?
That's what I want to know. Are they one and the same?
Yeah, but you got to know that in order for it to be the way you want it to be, because there are people who are daydreaming, which means they are imaging the vibrations. In other words, imagination is thoughts turning to images, isn't it? Vibrations turning to images. So let's define. Imagination is me being in the receiving mode of vibrations that I am in a place where those vibrations are turning to images. Feel the distinction between me receiving the vibration and me trying to create the images. This is the distinction we've been talking about in all these days, isn't it? Yes.
And so the thing that always felt so good was daydreaming about playing with dolphins and whales. And so what I want to know is the first animal that I ever worked with was a hybrid of a dolphin and a whale. And I felt like there was this conversion of my daydreams when I was a little girl that just allowed for that to unfold that way. And so I'm getting these daydreams now, or these glimpses into the future of my dreams. So usually you say that your dreams are letting you know what's coming or what's active.
Having a dream, a night dream while you're asleep, it's a form of manifestation because it's vibrations and thoughts turning into images. And it is an indicator of what you've got going on vibrationally.
Mm-hmm. So what does that mean when it's the opposite, when I have a glimpse of my dream before I dream it?
When you daydream your dream?
Yeah.
It's a really good thing is what it means, and this is what it means. The reason that a night dream can be especially beneficial when you awaken as you recall a dream, and most important as you recall how you felt within it, it's because in your sleep state you are not in the way of translation so much, and so you're allowing what's going on vibrationally to show you. And sometimes it's wanted things and sometimes it's unwanted things, but you are more allowing of letting yourself know what you've got going on. That's what dream state is. When you are having a daydream about what's coming in your night dream, it means you're tuned into that frequency. It means you don't need to be asleep in order to be resistance free. That's why we say it's a really good thing. And that's why we're encouraging you all to give yourself time, 15 or 20 minutes, 30, not more than that. You're such gluttons. And quiet your mind, and know your mind is quieted because you've practiced it and you know the feeling of that. And then sit in that state of non-thought, and don't try to think about anything. Just enjoy the non-thought, and then watch the movie when it happens. And as you allow yourself that experience more and more and more and more, then you've practiced the state of wakeful receiving. Oh, wakeful receiving. Esther's in a state of wakeful receiving right now. She's awake. Her mind is alert. She has access to all of the words in her vocabulary and more. Jerry always enjoyed how we use Esther's vocabulary much more emphatically than Esther does. He used to say to her, if you didn't have the word thing and stuff, you couldn't talk to me. So this is all good, yes?
Yes. And so what was so interesting is I had the glimpse of this big giant owl that I was going to experience. I was in Big Sur, and this owl that I had this glimpse of, I thought I would see it while I was in Big Sur, but I didn't, and it was okay. And then in my dream, I had this really wonderful dream where I was on this big ship. I had the impulse to jump off the top of the ship, and when I didn't, as I went really deep in the water, I realized I didn't take a breath, that I went really deep, and I thought, well, you're God imagining. You can imagine anything, so you can imagine that you can breathe underwater. And so I just kept my eyes closed. I breathed. It felt so good. I felt myself rising to the surface. And when I got out on land, there's all these beautiful men for me to gaze at. It was a very lucid dream. And then there was this tourist area with a bird bath, and it had a perch, and this black bird was on it. And when I looked, right behind the bird was this hawk hovering, like a hummingbird, flying behind it. And he went to grab the bird, and the bird morphed into a giant owl. And the message that I got was, when life has its grips on you, you just become bigger than it, and it can't hold on to you anymore. And it was that owl that I saw when I was in Big Sur. It was that moment of convergence, of remembering my future, I guess.
Well, there's a lot of symbolism in what you're talking about. And the thing about symbolism is that it means what you mean that it means. You've practiced the momentum of that. And so the universe will talk to you in whatever language you ask it to speak to you in. You're a teacher looking for ways of expression that can be meaningful to others. And in the same way that music is a way that connects lots of people to one another, where political parties may or may not, animals connect you to one another in wonderful ways too. One of the things that we have known about you from our first engagement with you in a format like this is that you came into this experience with powerful intention to not just know, but to express what you know in ways that others can receive it too. And so there's something that all teachers experience, that deep breath, because we're going into deep water here. There's something that all teachers experience, and that is the difficulty of getting past what they think about other people, the difficulty of getting past what they think other people think. And that's what makes you reach for symbolism and things that have a greater probability of being of core harmony. And that's a really good thing. But it is our expectation that the more you engage and the more you interact, the less guarded you will be about saying what you know, and the more able to say it in human terms that hit things head on you will be able to do.
I love that. So I want to end with one last thing. So following the inspiration and the impulses, when I was in Valencia, I felt the strong impulse to walk to and from the ship. And on the way back, it was hot, the sun was strong, and I had run out of water, and it just, next logical step, of course, I got my water refilled, and I'm cruising along just feeling so much appreciation. And this really beautiful hummingbird-like creature flutters around, and it was really unique in that it had like a hawk tail, and a hummingbird flying like a hummingbird. It had like a long beak, tongue, but it had like a butterfly wing additional to it. It was very different. And so I looked it up, and I found out that it was a hummingbird moth hawk, or hummingbird hawk moth. Never heard of anything like that. And I just thought, that's like 3 of my favorite alignment symbols all in one. And it just reinforced.
Well, you're blending dolphins with whales and hummingbirds with hawks, and just asking of the universe to bring you whatever you want. Why?
Because I
want it.
Because I want it.
Very good. Really good. We are really looking forward to a moment in time that is so close we can't even find it, when you trust people as much as you trust animals. They are blending together in all kinds of weird and unique ways, aren't they? Beliefs and knowing and attitude and so on.